Hi designers, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Quinsley, and in today's video we're going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice pattern. If this sounds like what you would like to learn, you have to stay to the end of this video. So without wasting much of our time, let's move right into it. So these are some of the measurements we are going to be using in this class. We need our shoulder measurement, our chest, and that chest, if you look closely, you can see question mark there. This is to tell you that I'm going to teach you the perfect way to get your chest measurement. Yes, at the end of the day, you will not have loose arm or tight arm. I'm going to teach you the perfect way to calculate your chest measurement. Then when we are done with that, we are going to go ahead and do other things. But before then, what we need to do first is to create our borderline. If you look closely in that video, you can see where I'm trying to mark out our borderline, which is very much optional. You can decide to leave it like that and start from the very tip, or you can also decide to use 1 inch or half inch. Any of them that you decide to do is very much okay. Then when I'm done with that, I'm going to divide our pattern into two. Remember, our pattern is going to be two because we have our front and our back. So in order to do that, we are going to be working with the largest measurements of our client or our own. So the largest measurement I'm going to work with in this video is 40 inches, which is my bust. So my bust, which is 40 inches divided by 2, will give me 20 inches. That 20 inches, I'm going to add extra 4 inches to it, which will make it 24 inches. So I'm going to put down 24 inches now on my pattern. So if you look closely the way I'm placing my tape, you will see how I'm doing that. See, the truth is that if you really want to learn a lot in this video, you just have to pay attention to how I'm doing every single thing I'm doing here. The way I'm putting my tape, my curve, or how I'm trying to measure it out. So another thing you need to notice that this pattern is going to be unfold. Unfold means when we open it up, it's supposed to be two pieces. I'm still going to show you guys what I mean at the third, maybe the third part I will put, you understand better. But before then, if you look closely, you'll see that I'm drawing out my line now. When I'm done with that, I'm also going to divide my 24 inches into two, which will give us 12 inches. So 24 divided by 2 will give us 12 inches. So I'm going to measure out my 12 inch now. The reason why I'm doing that, just like I have told you guys before, is because I want to create this pattern into two, which is my front and my back. So I'm going to do that now and I'll show you guys what I mean. Please, before I forgot, whenever you're drafting your own pattern, make use of pencil. It is very important because this marker that I'm making use of in this video is because I want you guys to see it. When you make use of marker to draw your pattern or to draft your pattern, you end up adding extra measurement to your measurement. So use pencil. So once I'm done with drafting this middle part, the next thing we need to do is to mark our neck measurement. And in order to get the perfect neck measurement, we need to divide it with our bust. So the bust I'm working with in this video is 40 inches. So divide 40 inches by 12 inches. Whatever measurements you got, it is your perfect measurement. So when I divide my own, which is 40 inches by 12, what I'm going to be getting is 3.3 inches. I will go ahead and put down my 3.3 inches. If you look closely at the place I'm trying to take the measurements, you will see that it is our starting point. So after putting it down there, I will come down and also measure 3.3 inches there. At the end of the day, I will now use my curve and connect the two lines together. Remember, if you do not have this kind of curve, just use your hand and try to measure it out. So as you can see in this video, you'll notice that I'll keep changing the ruler, my curve, sorry, to the point that I'm able to get the perfect curve that I want. So you as well, you can do the same. When your own do not fit perfectly, you can keep changing it till you are able to see what you are doing. So once I'm done with that, we are going to be moving to the back. I will still go ahead and use my 3.3 inches for the back as well. So when we are done with that, the next thing we need to do is to measure our back depth, which is the place I'm showing you right now. So we are going to be using 1 inch for that. I will go ahead and use my marker and go down by 1 inch. Then when I'm done with that, I'll use my curve. If you look closely, I'm going to turn it over to the other side. Then I will now connect the both points that I already marked, which is my 3.3 inch for the up, then 1 inch for the down. So I'll use my marker and connect it with my curve right now and show you guys how it will look like. So this is it for the back. So for now, we are done with the neck measurement for the front and back. So the next thing we need to do is to take our shoulder measurement. So our shoulder that we are working with in this video is 16 inches. So 16 divided by 2. Whatever measurement that it gives you is what you're going to be going ahead to place on the top of the line, just like I'm showing you guys here. So you can as well use the measurement that you're working. Remember, the measurement I'm working with in this video is my own measurement. So if you are working with your client or you're making your own clothes, make sure you're making use of your own measurement. So just like I said, my measurement is 16 inches. So I'm going to be dividing the 16 by 2. Whatever thing it gave me, that is what I'm going to be placing down. From the tip, as you can see, the place I'm pointing at, that is where I'm going to place my tape. I will go ahead and measure my 8 inches. Do you guys see that? So when I'm done with that, I'm going to go to the back as well and measure my 8 inches. Remember, I'm starting from the tip of the back, just like you see in the video. So when I'm done with that, the next thing I need to do is to mark my shoulder slope. And in order to do that, I'm going to go to the place I mark in my front, which is the shoulder. Then I'll come down by 1.5 inches. This 1.5 inches is the standard for the front. So when I'm done with that, I'm going to be using my ruler to connect it from the tip of my neck to the place that I mark, just like you can see in the video. Please, when you're connecting this part, you need to make sure that your hand is straight because you don't want to make mistake. So when you're done with that, the next thing we are going to be doing is to move to the back as well. And for the back, the standard measurement for the back is 1 inches as well. Then when you're done with that, you can as well go ahead and mark it from the tip of the back, just like you can see in this video, to the points that you have marked. So when we are done with our shoulder slope, the next thing we need to do is to get our chest measurement. And just like I promised, I'm going to be teaching you the perfect way to get your chest. So the perfect way to get your chest is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches and 1 inches. I said bust divided by 6 plus 1 inch and 1.5 inches. So my own bust is 40 inches. 40 inches divided by 6 will give me 6.66. Then I'll add my 1.5 inches, which will give me my 8.1. Then I'll go ahead and add 1 inches as well, which will give me 9.1 inch. I'll go ahead and approximate it by 2.5, which will give me 9.25 inches. So what I did here is to run it across from my front to my back. Then I will now use my ruler to run it across, just like you can see in this video. Just take your time. I will go ahead and just write it on top of this video so that you guys will not miss it at the end of this video. So I will go ahead and explain it one more time so that you guys will still understand. I said to get your chest measurements, we are going to be needing our bust. So my bust is 40 inches. So you can use your client's bust or your own bust and do this. So mine is 40 inches, just like I said. 40 inches divided by 6 will give me 6.6. Then I'll add 1.5 inch to it, which will make it 8.1 inch. Then I will still go ahead and add 1 inches, which will give me 9.16. I like approximating this if I'm not able to get a perfect number. So I approximated mine and it gave me 9.25. So I went ahead and impute the measurement from our starting line down, just like you can see in this video. So the next thing we need to do is to bring down our shoulder measurement to our bust. Yes, you heard me right. Remember that our shoulder measurement is 16 inches and we divided it by 2, which gives us 8 inches. So that 8 inches, we are going to go ahead and impute it at my chest measurement. I will later explain the reason why we need to do that. But as for now, we are going to take our 8 inches measurement down to our chest. Then when we are done, we are going to connect it up to the point, our shoulder slope, just like you can see in this video. The reason why I like doing this is that it will give me a straight line at the end of the day, just like you can see here. So when I'm done with marking the line, the next thing we need to do is to go up by 3 inches from our chest line, just like you can see me doing on this video. So once we get that point, the next thing we need to do is to go in by 0.75. But the thing is that this 0.75 is not compulsory. If you are in a slim size, make use of 0.5 inch. But if you are on the fat size, just like me, make use of 0.7 inch. So I will go ahead and measure my 0.75, just like you can see me doing here. Then when I'm done, I will start from my shoulder slope tip and measure it with my ruler straight down to the points that I marked. Just watch this place closely so that you do not make mistake when you're making yours. So the way I'm showing you here is how we are going to use our ruler and connect it back. So from the tip to the point that you mark 0.7 inch, just like you can see in this video. So once we are done, the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and impute our bust measurement. So the bust measurement we are working with is 40 inches. So 40 divided by 4 will give us 10 inches. Then I like adding 0.5 inch for ease. So once we add the 0.5 inch to the 10 inches that we have, it will give us 10.5. So we go ahead and measure that at our chest line, just like you can see me doing here. Then when we are done with that, we are going to use our curve and connect the both lines together, just like you can see here. So if you do not have the normal armhole curve at home, you can make use of the one you have available. But this is the perfect curve for you to use. So I'll go ahead and keep changing it till the point I'm able to get what I want. But sometimes if you try to do this and you see that it's not really giving you the smooth space or the smooth shape that you're looking for, you can as well make do with what you're seeing. Once I'm done with this, you are going to notice that the middle point is a little bit sharp. So what I will do is to use the most curvy part of this curve and blend it out, just like you see me doing here. So if you're having issue with your own, you can as well do this. The reason why I'm taking my time to explain all this is so that you will understand very well. This video is going to be a bit lengthy so that you understand every bit part of it. So the next thing we need to do now is to go ahead and take other parts of our measurements. But before then, we measure our full length, which is our half length. So I'm using 18 inches for mine. So 18 inches, I'm going to mark it from the front to the back, just like you can see me doing here. When I'm done marking it, I'll use my ruler and rule it across. But there is something I want you to understand. There is difference between your front and your back length. So when you're taking your measurement, make sure you make do with what you're seeing on your tape. Do not get confused. There is no way the back and the front is the same thing. It is not possible. So when I'm done marking it, I'll use my ruler and rule across, just like you can see me doing here in this video. So the reason why we are using 18 inches to mark both the front and the back is so that we can get a straight line. But when I'm done with all this, I'm going to show you guys how to differentiate both of them. But before then, let's go ahead and put down our bust length measurement. So the bust length measurement I'm talking about is from your shoulder to your bust. So whatever measurement you have on yours, you can as well put it down. But mine is 10 inches, so we are making use of 10 inches in this video. So from my shoulder down, I will get 10 inches. Then I will now mark the middle as well. But we are not going to extend this measurement to the back because we don't need the bust measurements at the back. Remember, there is difference between bust length and bust circumference. So the one we are putting down now is our bust length, which is 10 inches. So bust length can also be called bust height. Then bust circumference can also be called round bust. So be sure that you know the one we are talking about so that you don't make mistake. So the one we are doing right now is the bust height, which can also be called bust length or shoulder to bust. Anyone that you know, just go ahead and put it down. Then the next thing I need to do is to take my under bust measurement, which is under bust height, and mine is 14 inches. I'm also going to go ahead and mark the middle as well. Then when I'm done with that, I will use my ruler and rule across, just like I did with my bust. Then again, there is no reason for you to extend it to the back because we don't need to tighten our back. And you can as well skip this part because it is not compulsory. The only reason why we need our underbust is if we want to tighten our clothes. I'm only doing it in this video because of tutorial purpose, but you can as well skip it if you don't wish to. So I've gone ahead and labeled all the lines so that you guys will know we have the chest, the bust, the underbust, and our waist. So the next measurement that we need right now is our bust span. Some people call it nipple to nipple. And in order for you to get this measurement, you just need to measure one of your nipple to the other part of your breast nipple. So mine in this video is 8 inches. So that 8 inches, we are going to divide it by 2. Whatever measurements we get is what we are going to be imputing. So you have to look closely here so that you see how I'm doing it. You are just going to start at this guideline, just like you can see me doing here. So we are going to measure this thing down to our waist, but we are going to start from our bust. So I'm inputting my 4 inches right now. Then I will now go back to my waist and still put down the 4 inches. So when I'm done with that, I will use my ruler and go and roll it across, just like you can see me doing here. So you can as well go ahead and do yours when you are making your own. Remember, we are still working at the front. We have not yet moved to the back. And that back, the basic measurements we need is only our chest and our waistline. So take note of that so that you do not make the mistake of imputing the same measurement at your back. So when we are done marking down our bust span, the next thing we need to do is to put down our dart. The basic dart is 0.5 inches for people that are slim. Then for people that are in the fat side, just like me, you can make use of 0.75 or 1 inches. But for the sake of this video, we are going to be making use of 0.75 as my own. So we'll go ahead now and measure 0.75 at each side. So take note of what I'm doing right here so that you do not misunderstand. I'm putting that the 0.75 at one side, then I'll go ahead and impute it at the other side as well. Then I will now use my ruler and connect it up to my bust, just like you can see me doing here. You have to be very smart here when you're doing this so that you do not pass the bust. Remember, this dart leg is only touching my bust. It did not extend to the chest because we don't need it to. So it's only going to stop at the bust. And when you are doing this, make sure that the tip is very tiny, just like you can see here in this video. So the next thing we need to do now is to take our waist circumference. So the waist I'm working with is 34 inches. So one rule about pattern drafting is whatever you take out, you need to replace it back. Remember, we take out 1.5 inches for our dart, so we are going to replace it back. So my main waist I'm working with here is 34 inches, just like I said. So I'm going to divide the 34 inches by 4 inches. So 34 divided by 4 inches will give me 8.5 inches. Then we are going to add back the 1.5 inches that we use as our dart. Then it will give us 10 inches. So I will now go ahead and impute my 10 inches down at my waist measurement. Sorry, at my waistline, just like you can see me doing here in this video. So once I'm done marking this, I'll go ahead and use my ruler and connect it up to my chest line, just like you can see me doing here. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to move to the back for now. Then I will still return to the front to show you guys something. But before then, I told you guys that there is a difference between the front length and the back length. So for my back length is 15.5 inches, while my front is 18 inches. So I'm going to go ahead now and show you guys how to take the measurement. So just like we did with the front, I started from the tip to the 15.5 inches. Then I will still go to the back and measure the 15.5 inches, just like you can see me doing here. When I'm done, I'm going to use my ruler and roll it across. So once I'm done marking it, the next thing I did was to use my marker to remove this part because it's going to go out entirely. We don't need it again. So once we get this, the next thing we need to do is to take our back dart out. The reason why this is important is because of those people that used to have difficulties with having smooth zip when they are fixing their zipper. So this is the point you need to take care of it. So we're going to go in by 0.5 inches. You mark it at this point, then you use your ruler to extend it to your back neck measurement, just like you can see me doing here. So once I'm done with it, I'm also going to use my marker to cancel it because it's going to go out as well. This is very important because at the end of the day, after sewing your zipper, you will notice that this back is not going to be puffy. So when I'm done with this, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring down my shoulder measurement down to the chest line as well. Remember, we did this at the front, so we are still going to do the same thing at the back. I'm just trying to cancel this back so that we know that it's going to go out entirely. Then when I'm going to measure this, you will notice that I will not start this measurement at the very back. I'm going to start at this new line that I just created. Look at my tape very well. It did not start at the back. So I will measure my 8 inches from there. Then I will use my ruler to connect it up till this point that I'm showing you with my hand right here. You will notice at this point that it is not going to be straight because of this part that we have already removed at the back. But do not worry, it's going to be perfect when you finish sewing it. That part do not matter. So another thing we are going to do is to come up just like you did in the front. So the back is a little bit different from the front. At the back, we are going to be measuring what we have here. Then we divide it by 2. So my own is 8 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2 and it will give me 4 inches. But I like doing it with my tape. I don't like measuring it. So just do what I'm doing right here. Whatever it gives you, just go ahead and mark it. So this is the point I have my own. So I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch, just like you can see me doing here. This 0.5 inch is just the basic for everyone, whether you are a fat person or you are slim. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to connect it at the tip, just like we did in the front. So once we are done with this, the next thing we need to do is to put down our bust circumference. So the bust circumference that we are working with is 40 inches. So remember that at the front we did the same thing too. So 40 inches divided by 4, whatever it gave us, we added 0.5 inch for ease and it gave us 10.5 inches. So I'm still going to use that 10.5 inches for my back as well. If you look closely at the way I'm putting my tape, you will still notice that I did not start at the center back because we already removed that part. So just do the same thing on your own as well. So when I'm done with this, I'm still going to use my armhole cuff and connect it this way, just like you are seeing here in this video. So once we are done with this, the next thing we did was to measure our waist circumference. Remember, the waist circumference you're working with is 34 inches. So 34 inches divided by 4, whatever it gave us, we added our 1.5 inches, that which gave us 10 inches. So that is what I measured in this video. If you look closely, you still notice I did not start from this center back at the very end. I started from the new line that we created. So I marked this up to our chest line measurement, just like you can see in this video. So the next thing we are going to do now is to impute our front bust dart. And in order to do that, we are going to measure this place that we cancelled at the back. So once I measured what I got there was 2.5 inches, just like we are seeing right now. So these 2.5 inches that we have gotten here, we are going to put it at the front bust line. I repeat bust line because a lot of people make the mistake of putting it at their chest. So we are going to put it at the bust, just like you see me measuring it out here. So I'm going to mark 2.5 inches here. When I'm done, I will use my ruler and extend it at 2. So just watch this part so that you understand what I'm doing here. So I know that a lot of you have been wondering how the back length and the front length is going to be the same thing. So this is where the bust dart comes in. By the time you close this bust dart, you will notice that the front and the back is not the same thing. This bust start is very important because it gives you more shape and it makes the clothes look so fitted on you by the time you close the boot start. So we now go ahead and take our back dart just like we did with the front. But in this very back dart, what we are going to be doing is to be starting at the very center back. So the reason why we are going to do that is so that we can have a straight line. So I'm going to use 4.5 inches for this back dart. Remember that we use 4 inch for the front, but because of this half inch that we removed here, we are going to use 4.5 inches. So I'm still going to take this 4.5 inches up at my chest line so that we can have a straight line, and I'm starting it at the part that we cancelled. So the reason why I'm doing this is so that we can have a straight line. Another thing is that for the back, we need to come down by 1 inch from the chest line. We need to come down by 1 inch, just like you can see me doing here. So once I measure out the 1 inch, I'm going to use my ruler and extend it. But when I'm extending this, I'm going to make sure that it do not touch the chest line. I'm going to stop it at the 1 inch that I just measured down, just like you can see me doing here. So once I'm done with this, I will go ahead and impute my dart intake. Remember, for the front, we made use of 1.5 inch and divided it by 2. So it now gave us 0.75. So I'm still going to go ahead now and put the 0.75 at the back as well, just like the way we did in the front. Then when I'm done with this, I will extend it as so. So you guys just take your time and watch this place so that you don't make any mistake as well. So because of how long this video is, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right here. But I promise to put up the second video so that you see how to cut out this and also how to transfer this waist dart to the bust dart. So you do well to subscribe so that you will be the first to get notified once I put up the second part of this video. If you are my returning subscriber, thank you so much for the love. And if this is your first time of watching my video, please do well to subscribe so that you'll be notified anytime I put up a video. Thank you guys, and I love you so much. See you guys on my next video. Bye.